love to come and serve.
I guess one of the greatest blessings of this opening of the temple was to realise that the members in Perth in the past had to travel across to Sydney, and prior to that to New Zealand, and prior to that to Hawaii or the United States. And that was quite a costly venture. And to realise now we have a temple in our own backyard, it was just a wonderful feeling that the saints would not have to make those sacrifices to go over to the eastern states and further. And I guess that gave us a great thrill to see that happen.
Well, we used to travel to Sydney each year. We do that for our annual holiday. And prior to that, we did quite a bit of touring of the States and various temples over there. We were sealed in the Salt Lake Temple.
Well, to be sealed, we had to go all the way to New Zealand. But to have our boys sealed to us and to go regularly, we flew over to Sydney or drove.
And to learn the word of God and of eternity within this holy.
Well, having grown up in the church here in Perth and knowing that everywhere else had a temple, it just seemed, well, it was a little miracle, I think, to hear that we were to have a temple built here in Perth, seeing we were so far away from Salt Lake City, and what a blessing for us all to have a temple here in our own city.
As for me, I think I was more surprised than anything. I just didn't know that we would ever qualify for a temple, not just yet anyway. And I was just thrilled that that the prophet and the church leaders found that we were ready and worthy for a temple here. And so it was truly a joyous occasion, I think, for all the members here in Western Australia.
Amazing.
It truly was.
I grew up in this area. This was my ward growing up, and then this is the ward where we raised our children. Never ever imagined a temple being here.
A temple halfway around the world from Salt Lake on the Indian Ocean.
And then we weren't here for the dedication, we were in New Zealand, and so it was lovely to come home from that mission and to find the temple here.
Already operating and fully staffed, and people excited about attending the temple.
It was of much excitement because we had been going over to Sydney and could only go once a year. So you would stay a couple of weeks at a time and do as much work as you could, and then you just have to wait until the next year until you could go again. So when it was said that we could have a temple here, it was with a wonderful feeling that we could do so much more work.
We just wanted a couple of rooms so that we could do the ordinances, even if it opened for, say, 1 or 2 days a week. But to have this was unbelievable.
I remember the time when I was called as a regional representative, and there were 3 of us in Australia, Ian Mackey and Bruce Mitchell, and we were called over to Salt Lake City, and we met with the First Presidency and the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, and they put the proposition to us there about building a temple in Sydney. And after that conversation had been completed, Elder Boyd K. Packer turned around to us and he said, "You brethren will live to see the day when there'll be a temple not only in Sydney, but in Melbourne, in Brisbane, in Adelaide, and in Perth." And that's when we had the first inclination that there would be a temple in our lifetime built in Perth.
My
early, couldn't wait to get here. Yes. No, it was really fabulous.
I guess the first one would have come sometime in that first week when we'd have done a endowment session together.
The next day we were here. We were here doing initiatories, and then we did some endowments, and came just about every time it was open.
We did open the temple on the Monday after it was dedicated, because there were many members that had come down from the country, and we wanted to give them the opportunity of attending the temple to do ordinances there before they returned home. So yes, it was a very busy time, but
it was an exciting time.
It
too.
was.
The spirit was just, this is ours. And it was just beautiful, from stepping to the recommend desk right the way through.
Yeah, we're getting married on Thursday in the temple.
Yep, and we just feel really lucky that we're able to do that.
Within these sacred walls, His holy power to feel, a refuge from this broken world, found in this place to heal. The Spirit whispers deep with.
I've loved being able to work under each president as they've served. I've also been in the laundry, doing the laundry, and it's always been a privilege to work here.
Well, for me it was a very special, wonderful time. In fact, I'd have to say it was a beautiful time of our lives, to be able to serve full time and go each day that we served to the temple, and as we walked up the path there, up the steps, and to read the sign that was on the top of the temple there, the house of the Lord, holiness to the Lord, because I truly do know it is the house of the Lord, and the sweet spirit that was there was just a lovely experience for us both.
I feel the same. It was just a joyous, sacred experience. The service with our fellow workers there was just incredible. I've never worked with a group of people who are so willing to do whatever was asked of them, and they have become very choice and close friends.
I guess one of the biggest things that one does as a presidency in the temple is to make people feel welcome, and it was just, it was reciprocated by all the patrons and the workers. We just found it was a two-way thing, that the affection and the love and the great work that was being done by everybody was just so beautiful.
I think the ordnance workers, many of them have been here since the dedication of the temple, and they are just so faithful. And I don't want to name any names, but there are some who have been coming week in, week out, several times a week, and every week, and for the last 10 years. And I think those type of people are the ones who deserve the brightest crowns in heaven. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And to all other workers, like we were once a week coming to the temple, and I was always excited to know that I'm doing work for our kindred dead. So I appreciate what the ordnance workers are doing.
And I have been very aware of the ordnance workers who have worked long time in the temple, and the help that they have been to me, particularly the sisters, just as a backup and support, and I've felt that they have been a great help and support to me in many, many ways. Just to look at them in a preparation meeting and realise that I'm getting a nod from them is a wonderful feeling.
That this is the right place to heal, where I can know thy peace.
I certainly would like to challenge all those who have received their endowment to continue to come and serve and to do work for those beyond the veil.
I think it's important to regularly schedule time to attend the temple. I know everyone has different circumstances in their lives, and they may not be able to attend once a week or even once a fortnight, but to regularly set aside some time to attend the temple and to feel of the lovely spirit that is there. And that way you look forward to that time that you've set aside, whether it be once a month or once a week, to go there and feel of that lovely spirit.
The ordinances of the temple are probably the most important ones in our lives. Sure, there's a number of leading up ordinances that we perform outside of the temple, but in the final analysis, we're all here on the earth to receive the blessings of the temple and to be sealed. And without that, to some extent, we've perhaps wasted our time on the earth if we don't achieve those things. So they're vital to all of us. And we would just say to everybody, come as often as you possibly can.
Come and see. Everyone is entitled to enter into the house of the Lord, to participate in the ordinances for their kindred dead, provided that they go through the saving ordinances of the gospel of baptism, confirmation, and for the men, the Melchizedek priesthood. We invite everyone to attend the house of the Lord.
May I remember